On the riverbank in downtown Chicago, it's The Panel, brought to you by Sport Check. Tom Zola, Jack Michaels, and Bob Stauffer from the Oilers Radio Network. Guys, we talked about it in yesterday's panel that Chris Russell would be an important signing for the team. Today, 4 years, $4 million for Russell. Done deal. What do you make of this move?
Well, it's magnified by the fact that Andrej Sekera will be lost to the Oilers at least at the beginning of the season. So this is an important signing, as we talked about yesterday, with the departure of Griffin Reinhart to the Vegas Golden Knights. Now you've got Russell and some stability on the back end, especially at the beginning of the year. That veteran leadership will be important for, I think, Bob, you'd probably agree with me, a young unit that's still evolving, even though they were improved significantly last season.
Chris is an interesting player because there's been so much debate out there with our passionate fan base in
Correct.
Edmonton. It's sort of old school versus new school, right? And a lot of the analytics types they always want to look for negatives on things. And, it's part of it comes with the territory. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, the three of us are around the team. And I think we know what he brought to the team and the energy level. You have energy givers and energy takers, and you can't have too many energy takers, but you got to have guys that help bring energy to the group. He cowboys up as a player.
Yep.
He's an effective penalty killer. I think we can recognize that, and he does bring some maturity to a group that is in a maturation process. And the timing, especially in light of the fact that they are going to be without Andrej Sekera for at least the first couple months of this season, helps out as well. So, it's entirely feasible that Chris starts off as a top four for the first couple of years and then ends up playing sort of a 4 or 5 role over time. But I personally think it's a great fit for Edmonton.
Sekera loves him. He has gone on the record many times saying that. All right, draft day. The Oilers picking at 22 today. First round goes tonight from the United Center. Any hubbub? What are we hearing? Anything exciting? I know the Hawks made a deal today with Arizona, but from an Oilers standpoint, it's pretty quiet.
Well, I think Peter Chiarelli has pretty much resigned himself to that cluster of 4 players he keeps referring to as ultimately the move that Edmonton's going to make, at least in the first 3 rounds. I think the talk that perhaps the Oilers will look to regain a second round or maybe package of a couple of thirds. As we've gotten closer to the draft, I'm hearing less and less of this. So unless something breaks that we don't know about, I fully expect Edmonton to make the 1 pick they have in the first 81, and that's at 22 with a cluster of 4 that they seem to be fairly comfortable with.
In terms of other teams in the league, if New Jersey holds the pick, because there is some belief they've got some interest in AJHL product Cale Makar.
Yeah.
If New Jersey holds the pick, I think we're all in agreement that it's going to be Nico Hischier. I'm going to be very intrigued to see, is it possible if Nolan Patrick falls? You got Ron Hextall, played for the Brandon Vikings.
What's Vegas doing, by the way? They've got all those picks now.
Well, there was a report today saying they're going to hold on all 3 number 1 picks they have. I thought when they started collecting those that they'd be moving up. A bit of a wild card is Dallas, and back to Vegas for a second. Is it possible, as an example, like Mark Mathot would, allow a deal to Dallas from Vegas, because that might get Vegas from 6 to 3. So this is a very different draft for us, guys.
I find it interesting, Bob, that you're thinking it's more likely that Patrick would fall than potentially be selected at number 1. And I kind of have the opposite view.
Really?
I feel it's more likely that he'd be the first overall pick than falling beyond 2. So you think...
No, I wouldn't. Well, we're hearing some rumblings that he might. I think he's going 2.
Okay.
I think Hischier is going 1. Personally, if it was me, I'd be taking Nolan Patrick number 1. But I think he's, I know what I saw.
Although you didn't in your mock draft.
No, I
took him. I took him 1.
Yeah, I took Nolan Patrick 1 too in my mock draft.
No, I took Hischier 1.
You took him. Do you know what you're doing? I know we've been in Chicago for a couple of days and disagree. Have we figured out exactly where you are right now? Do you know what city you're in?
On the riverbank in Chicago.
We've done too many of these mock drafts.
By the way, we both took Vegas claiming Reinhart. You took Kara.
That is correct.
Okay, now that we've got that established, anyhow, if it were me, I would take Nolan Patrick number 1. I think he's going to end up going number 2. Maybe Vegas finds a way to get there. If they cut a deal with Dallas, they can get to 3. We know that. And then anything's possible. I'm not sure Philadelphia gives up that number 2 pick if they want Patrick as well.
All right, we'll find out what happens tonight. The Oilers picking at 22. Bob, Jack, and myself have got you covered all weekend long from here in Chicago.